What if I told you that you can build a six-figure career growth on LinkedIn along with success? When I say career success, you can get hired to the job you love, you can get connected to the people you want to discuss, your career growth strategies with, and you can also build and leave a legacy behind. You tell somebody that you did something and they go ahead and implement that, and then they become successful in the process. That is leaving a legacy behind, in my opinion, at least. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 proven strategies. Hi, I'm Fatima Williams and I am a career growth strategist. I'm a HR professional turned career growth strategist, and I'm going to use my 13 years of experience as a HR and recruiter and my expertise using LinkedIn for the last several years. I joined in 2010, so almost 13 years on LinkedIn. So I'm going to share with you these 10 proven tips. Now, when I say proven tips, these are actually used by successful people, scientists, doctors, anyone who's actually achieved career success. All right, so let's go into this video and see what are these 10 steps. All right, here is strategy number 1. Be a goal setter. Easier said than done, isn't it? Now, half of the times, the goals that we set, we do not achieve them. It's because we set unrealistic goals, or we set goals and we do not measure them. Now, when I say measure them, I'm going to lose weight, by this first quarter of 2023. I mean, I'm going to lose weight by 2023 is a very vague goal. There isn't any measurement to it. There isn't any specific set of actions that you've said to achieve this goal. Now, if you say, I'm going to save 10 lakhs or say 100,000 dirhams by the end of this year, that is a number, right? Now, what you have to do is break that number down into, let's say, I'm going to save 1 lakh per month, or I'm going to save 5,000 dirhams in terms of currency, whatever currency you're using. Break that number down into 12 categories and save them every single month so that you can eventually get to that 10 lakhs or 100,000 dirhams or whatever you're trying to do to achieve that goal. So when you set goals, break them down. Now, when you say, I'm going to get that job in my dream company, it doesn't mean sometimes it's going to happen overnight. You may have to lay the foundation for at least a year or two before you get to that company. Or you may have to lay the foundation for just as small as 30 to 90 days. So it depends on you. You can actually get hired in your dream job as little as 30 to 60 to 90 days, or it might even take up to 2 to 3 years. Now, when I say 2 to 3 years, maybe you need some kind of a qualification that they need. Maybe they need you to have a certain degree of certification. Maybe they need you to have a certain number of years of experience before they hire you into that particular role. So set goals, and set goals that are realistic and measurable. So when you set goals, see an example here, you could set a goal saying that, I'm going to do this by this date every single month. For example, I could say by the 31st of every single month, I am going to have $5,000 into my bank account. And I am going to do this by freelancing and having at least, let's say, 4 clients every single week apart from my regular job. And I'm going to set 4 hours for achieving this goal every single week. So 4 hours, 4 clients, and I'm going to achieve $5,000 by the end of every month. Now, this is let's say an extra income goal that you can set along with your regular job. So that's tip number 1. Okay. Now, strategy number 2 is have an action-oriented growth mindset. Now, what does that even mean, an action-oriented growth mindset? Now, sometimes you might try something and you will fail at it. I'm telling you, you will fail at it sometimes because not everything works for everyone. Now, if I do something, it doesn't mean that the same thing is going to work for you. You may have to do it differently to achieve the same results. So if you do the same thing that everyone is doing and you expect the same results, then it doesn't work that way. Okay, so you have to have an action-oriented growth mindset, meaning that you should be able to do different things to get to the ultimate goal that you want. So you may have to try A, B, C, D, E. Maybe E will work for you. That is the way you can get people to connect with you. Maybe that is the way the interview will be cracked with the company that you want. So you have to find that courage and that mindset to constantly keep trying. So you have to build grit. So there is this fantastic TED talk that I love by Angela Duckworth. You should go and watch it. I will drop the link in the comment box. And in this, she says, you have to build grit. You have to build it. You have to nurture it, which means it's a skill that you can develop. So sometimes you would notice that, people say, what, I'm an introvert. I don't like to do this or don't like to do this. But if you see, the same introvert would be comfortable with certain people in his or her circle of community. So you just have to find that space where you can be yourself 100%. Okay, so believe in yourself and all that you are, and know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. Christian Larson, I love this quote. And I want you to embrace that quote. In fact, if you can write it down and paste it on your, wherever you can see, on your desk or in the mirror when you're looking at yourself, to remind yourself that you need to keep finding that thing that works for you. So for that, you need to be action oriented, which means just watching and taking in information is not enough. You need to execute them as well. Strategy number 3 is maximize your strengths. So how do we do that? How do we maximize your strength? It's related to the previous strategy. So when something works for you, do it again and again and again. So identify your strengths and ways to leverage them. Okay, so use some of your strengths for financial success. So if you're good at something, like I said in the first example, freelance, do that on the part-time. Set aside 4 hours a week to do that as a freelancer. Go on Upwork or LinkedIn and post your services there and write content, build content based on what you love doing, and try to build a passive source of income. But the greatest asset is not money you have, it's the talent and skills and this ability for you to nurture the strengths that you possess. It's like watering a plant, right? So the more water you add, consistently at regular intervals, depending on the temperature, the conditions for the plant to thrive in, right? If you take the plant and plant it somewhere where it cannot thrive, it's not going to grow. So you are just like a plant. You just need to take yourself out from wherever you feel stuck and put yourself in that environment with the people, the situation, the experiences that are going to harness your growth, and you will find that success will be just at the other side of you taking those strategies and steps. Okay, so strategy number 4, be optimistic. Okay, so being optimistic, it means having that positive mindset to keep going in spite of the challenges life throws at you. Okay, so let's say you put yourself in a difficult situation. Try to look at what went wrong. Why did you get yourself in that situation in the first place? And how can you avoid getting into that situation the next time? So that is optimism, trying to look at how you can not repeat the mistakes that you made. So if let's say you make a mistake and you fail at something, rather than blaming yourself and playing the victim, you can see, okay, what led me to get into this situation? Where the habits or behaviors that you executed that led you there. Okay, so you need to drill down. You have to play the cop like a detective. Try to identify where things went wrong. And to do this, you have to be optimistic. Okay, so today you're living, tomorrow you're dead. That's it. So how can you live your life on this planet to the fullest? Every single minute being optimistic about how you're going to make your life better. Take risks. Strategy number 5 is take risks. Life is short. We live only once. So go ahead and do that thing that you're passionate about. Do what you love doing. If you can't get paid for it, offer your service as a voluntary, a complimentary service to people who will really execute them and who really deserve your help. Now, let's say you're good at something and you're not able to get a job there. Go into non-profits, orphanages, foundations, NGOs, and offer your service to them. And then you can take that experience and put it on your resume, on your profile, and tell people, hey, listen, this was a non-profit I worked for, this is what I did, and this is what I achieved. So this is an example of you doing things that is out of your comfort zone as well. So take risks and do things, and don't let failures sabotage you. Okay. Strategy number 6 is upgrade your mindset and knowledge. So there is a lot of information that comes into you every single day. Filter them and categorize them. Okay, this information is going to allow me to grow. Let me implement this knowledge. Let me go ahead and execute this knowledge. Let me do this and see what happens. Let me see the results. Okay, as soon as you get results, share them online and shout out publicly and tell people how it worked, so that somebody else will go and try it and they will get the same result, and that will also add credibility. Invest in your education, invest in yourself. In fact, this week I published a podcast. This was one of the first podcasts for Dream Career Freedom Academy, and we released the podcast with a very well-known talent acquisition professional in the UAE, and he shared with us some tips and strategies on how you can grow in your career and get the career success you want. So go ahead and listen to that podcast. It's available on Spotify and Apple. It's called the Dream Career Freedom Podcast. And let me know your thoughts. Drop in a review. Remember, it's important for you to tell people what worked so that somebody else can go ahead and try that. So strategy number 7 is constantly improving yourself. It's related to the previous step where you upgrade yourself. So constantly improve yourself. Try to find what workshops you can attend, what webinars you can attend, what certifications you can do. If you're a job seeker, try to learn everything about a company through research. Talk to people who are working in the company that you want to get hired with. Ask them, how did you get hired? What worked for you? Can you tell me what was the key deciding factor for you getting hired in this company? Or you can tell them, hey, you know what, we share the same skills. I absolutely love what you're doing. I'd love to work in your organization. Can you tell me like what I'm actually skilled at XYZ, and you are doing this. So is there something else that I could do to be hired at your organization? Could you suggest some kind of certification, or is there some kind of a career tip that you can give me? Because even if I don't get hired in your company, I could try the same thing to get hired to the competitors, the similar companies that I have in my list. So talk to people, be authentic, let them know that you appreciate them. Okay, well, let's try to find some common grounds that you can interact with. Be authentic with the person, and then you go ahead and you ask them, to give you some strategies and tips. So directly going and bombarding people and expecting them to help you was not going to give you the results that you want. Okay, so this is the next strategy that I was talking about. So don't expect success and focus on adding value. So prioritize your goals. Prioritize what is it that you want to achieve in your career 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. With the boom of AI, will my job be there in 20 years? Each of us here are not going to retire at 50 or 60. How am I going to be there, adding value? So try to do a study on yourself, a case study on yourself, to see where success comes to you and how it comes to you, and then repeat it, rinse, repeat. Assess the information and have an open mind. Okay. And finally, find a mentor or a coach. Say if you want to be getting a dream job in a company of your choice, find people who have already done that. Learn from them and implement the strategies that they're giving, and this will help you to get that 6-figure career success that I was talking about. Implement them when you're interacting with people, add value. And if you'd like to know more strategies about how you can get the career success that you want, go ahead and join our LinkedIn VIP group. It's a mastermind where people are going to come together to share their success stories. If you are a job seeker or a career professional looking to grow in your career, I conduct a masterclass where I will share with you proven tips and strategies to help you grow. And you can find the details on my website. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share your comments, like. So share what you've learned from this video, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much.